Hi guys, welcome back to Future Dimensions 360. As you know, in our current tutorial series, we are implementing React examples in each tutorial. In today's tutorial, we will be implementing a TikTok toy game. So without wasting a time, let's move forward and try to start implementation. I had created a simple React application with npx create React app with Tailwind integration. In case any one of you don't know about Tailwind integration with React.js, just watch our first video from the same series. There we had explained in detail how to integrate Tailwind with React.js. For saving time, I had just created React.js application and integrated Tailwind, and here my project is live and running, and I had removed a boilerplate code already. First of all, I will be creating inside source folder some folders. One of them will be components. There will be another folder called hooks. There will be another folder called shared. Okay, so first of all, inside the component folder, what I need here is, I will say I need a container in which I will be creating my board and results and everything. So there will be a new file called container.js. RFC, it will be a React functional component, and for example there will be some classes passing to this container. So I will say, for example, I will pass border dash, for example, I will say border dash 2. So I am a container. Let's import this one in our app.js inside our header as well. Container, it will be like this. So container is there. Let me pass some padding as well, p-8. This is my container. I'll say rounded dash lg as well. So here's my container. What I want here is the top, I will be showing player X or player O turn, and there will be another thing called results. So once the results are done, we will be showing some results here as well. For example, I will say const, okay, player X turn, comma set player X turn equals to use state, and it will be true in the beginning. Here I will be passing this as a parameter, and there will be some results. Let's keep some results. Later on we will be creating some custom hook for results as well. So set result, okay, we will be creating some custom hook for that also. For example, let's keep it empty. If results is not empty, we have to show here what, let me say fragment. We have to show what inside this fragment. We have to show some results if it's not empty. If it's empty, then we have to show here player X turn or player Y turn. Let's say it will be P player X turn, okay, and for example it will be H1 tag where I will say player X wins. Okay, let's remove this container for the meantime. Let's say player X turn is there. Let's pass something here in this result. For example, I'll say B, player X wins. This is H1 and P. We will create this inside shared folder. Let's create new folder called headings. Inside headings, I will be creating two files. One of them will be h1.js and another one will be new file called paragraph.js. okay, RFC React functional component will be our paragraph. I will say 1 2 3 and props, and inside this one I will be saying it will be P and closing tag of P, and then here I will say it will be props.children. okay, and then here I will be using what, I will be passing some class names dynamically. That will allow me to pass some classes from the parent as well. Props.class name. Let's change this paragraph here. So fragment, for example, I will say it will be a paragraph. Why I'm centralizing these components? Because I want my all in normally the projects h1 tags. Whenever you are using h1 tags, it's like very much sure that all your h1 tag will be similar to each other, the size, the height, and everything. h2 tag, it will be similar. So for that one, what you are doing is you are centralizing your components in shared folder, and you are passing some classes to design them according to your projects. So inside this one, I will say, for example, player x turn. Okay, so class name, for example, I will pass an empty string for the meantime. Let's say player x wins, and let's make it empty to see our paragraph say player c turn. Let's make it x. Okay, so let's say it will be an x. I will do what? I will say if player x is true, then pass x, otherwise pass o. So it will make dynamic the turn. And similarly in result, I will show here the results. Inside this, I will show results. So I will say player x wins. It will appear here, player x wins. So let's just remove it. Let's say inside heading, I will be having h1 RFC React functional component. Similarly, I will just destructor props inside it. Easier way to pass props, 3 dots, and this one should be h1, and here it will be in h1. In between both components, I will say props dot children. Whatever the children you are passing, it will appear inside it. It will be a string, it will be span tag, a node, or anything, whatever you want. Class name, similarly, it will be a dynamic class name as well. I will say props dot class name. Now change it in the container also, h1 tag, and class name we will pass dynamically here, class name, an empty string. That's it. Player x turn, player y turn. So now what I want here is I want text. For example, I will say here in paragraph, I want my text to be sm, okay, small text. And in h1 the text will be 2xl, text will be 2xl. Okay, then text dash, for example, I will say no, font dash, for example, I will say it's extra bold, and here it will be normal, it's fine. So whenever I will change something here in the result, for example, see, so you guys can see it's extra bold and it's big in size as well. Okay, this is how you can create headings. Now the thing is that we have to create a board. For that one, let's go down here. I will be creating board for the game. Okay, first of all, let's create an array of empty strings. How we can create an array of empty string? Let's say I will say board and set board equals to use state new array dot fill. Okay, what I have to fill? Null values. Okay, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, let's say this board is appearing fine or no. Console.log. Okay, I will say board, and let's check it here in our inspector. In the console, array of 9 and all of the values are null. Okay, so let's move forward. Let's go to our components and create a new folder called board. Okay, and then create a new file called board.js. RFC React functional component, it will take some props as well. We will destructure them inside this div. What I have to do here is I have to show 3 buttons always. Okay, let's say I will say class name for this div. First of all, I will say flags dash call. Every time I will show one call. Okay, and W of that column will be, for example, 64. Width will be 64. Okay, now I will be creating each column. There will be 3 rows. For example, I will say here like this, row 1, then I will be having row 2 and 3. Okay, so row 1 will be what? Row 1 will be a row, not a column. I will say row, and it will be W full, and inside that one I will be having 3 buttons. Similarly, I will have another row, and I'll have the third row as well. In each row I will pass 3 buttons. Let's create inside shared another folder called button, and inside button create another file called button.js. You can create here button primary, button secondary, button like icon button, shared button, anything like you want as per your project. RFC React functional component, we will be destructing props inside it. Okay, this will be now what? Button, and inside it props dot children. Okay, and then here what I have to do here is I have to pass 2 things. One is class name, similar to old. I will be passing like dynamic class name props dot class names, and I will say on click will be like this, props dot on click. Okay, so or instead of this you can pass like this 1 2 3 props, like this 1 2 3 props. So any functionality for the button like disable, like on click you are passing, it will appear directly inside the button props. Okay, let's go to our container, import our board here as well, board board, and close tag as well. In the board what I need now here is props. I need my board and like this board as a props here. Okay, so here I will be needing my button component. Okay, button text will be, for example, props dot, for example I will say const board, okay, equals to props. Okay, let's say board of 0. It will appear here. Container boolean is not defined. Line number container, line number 27. Container line number 27 boolean. Very sorry, it's board, not boolean. So this is fine. Going here, my button is going very fine from the board. Okay, I have to pass something here, 2 things. I'll do it in this way, like this. Now I have to pass an on click on this button. Okay, on click will be an arrow function, and that will be appearing from handle button click. I will say button click. Okay, this will be the one that I will be passing, and every time I will be passing index inside it. From container I have to show this. I have to like declare this function here as an arrow function. Okay, index will be always here, index, and like this. Okay, just whenever I will click here, I want the index to be console.logged. Let's pass this one as props to our board. We had passed this one, board had received that one, and we had passed this button as well. Let's go to button, pass some designing here, bg-white, okay, for example, and then w-full px -3 py -2, for example. Py -2 is fine. You guys can see my button is here. Let's go to my container, and here I will say, for example, this will be flags dash call gap -4. So it's looking much nicer now. And inside this my paragraph, inside my button, this is what I have to do here. Inside board, I have to check here in the class also for the button. For example, I'll say class name, and I have to check, for example, if board is not is null. For example, if it's null, okay, if it's null, we will make it like this. Then what we have to pass here is py minus, for example, I will say 6. If it's not null, just don't pass it as 6 class name. Button, I'm passing this class, and then the props dot class name is appearing here. And let me see why it's not appearing. Board dot class name. Very sorry, it's here we are passing, that's why it's appearing. Let's just try to remove this. That's butcher. And here, let me see if there is no, like, for example, I will say this, it's fine. Okay, now once we click here, console is not a function. Let me do inspector. Let me see here, console is not a function. Go to container. Inside this one, console.log, we have to do like this. Let's see, for example, I click, the 0 index is clicking and it's appearing there as well directly. So what I have to do here, for example, I have to check now in board of index, okay, the index you are clicking in the board, if it's null. If it's not null, okay, then what you have to do here is you have to directly return, okay. And if it's not null, if it's null, you have to move forward. What you have to do here is then you have to set up the board. How you will set up the board? Like this, set the board. I will say previous board and arrow function, and then return what? Previous board dot map, and it will say item, and like this you will pass an arrow function, and this item should be wrapped with curly braces, and then I will say key. So in case your index matched, if your key double equals to your index, okay, sorry, index, then what you have to do here is you have to return. What you have to return? You have to check first if it's player X, return what? Return X, otherwise return O, okay. Similarly in else as well, in else you have to return similarly if it's not matching same item, okay, it's item, just change it to item, okay. So let's say if I click here, the text is white. Let's go back and to button and bg white. Let's give it text dash neutral 800, okay, and I will say font dash semi bold, or you will say black. Font dash black will be better, okay. So once you click here, it will change the height, okay. That is it. And let's say like this, on click, make it in this way. On click, it will be like this, and props dot on click, call like this, and remove the props here. This is another way, but it's overriding our class name. That's why we don't want this to be done. Or let's do it in this way. Wait. Let's do it like this. Control X, first spawn the props and then override the class name, okay. Let's see if it appear or no. Let's say if I move forward to my container, to my board, I will pass here a class name, okay. In the class name, I will be passing like dynamically py minus 6. Let's see if it works or no. You guys can see my class name is still working. So what I have to do here is I have to check if board is null, then pass this class, otherwise no. Okay, like this I will say if board is empty, you have to do what? You have to pass this class name, otherwise no need, by using shift operator. Okay, like this. Okay, and here if board is not null, your py will be 2. Okay, py, make it here it's better to make it like instead of 6 make it 4. Okay, that's very good. Now let's copy paste this button 3 times. 1 2. Okay, and this 0 just change it to 1, make it 1 here, and here as well 1, and then here 2 2 and 2. So our first line is ready. Okay, let's make some border as well to make it different to each other. Border -2 will be better. See, okay, like this. Now what we have to do here is when you click, your tone will be changed as well. Go to container and just here write use effect hook. Inside use effect hook, first of all what we have to do here is we have to verify if our board is changed. Okay, first you have to check results, that we will check later after some time, and send. After that you will say change turn. Okay, so for changing turn you have to do is set player x turn previous player x turn will be an arrow function, and this will be previous player x turn straight away. Okay, now let's say XO like this. Your game is working much better now. Okay, let's make our paragraph underline as well, and h1 tag underline as well. It will be a better look like this, and this one also will be an underline. Yep, much better now. Okay, let's make it capitalize as well, uppercase, sorry, uppercase, and this should be for example uppercase as well. Yeah, so much better now. Let's go back to our board and copy paste the button 3 times in the for the second row, and 3 times for the third row. It will be the last index will be 8, the second last will be 7, the third last will be 6. Very sorry for guys for some noise behind me if there is. I'm trying to make like much clear videos, but still I'm suffering with some noise. Let's see. Yeah, so then 3 and 3, 2 and 1 and 0. Let's hit save and go back to our code. You guys can see our game board is working very perfectly. Okay, now we are able to change our turns, we are able to do X and O player turns and everything. Now the final and the most like tricky thing is identifying the results. How you can identify the results. Let's go back. Now what we have to do here is we have to create a custom hook for these results. Okay, let's go back to our hook, and I will say new file, not new file, new folder called use result. Okay, inside this use result there will be a new file called use result.js, RFC React functional component use result. So this use result will contain the same result as it is inside it. Okay, secondly I will be returning what results, an array. It's fine, we will result an array, and I will say set results and const set result like this, an arrow function, and like this, and this set result will be returned back as well. Okay, this arrow function will take few things. First of all, what we have to do here is const winning combination equals to an array. Okay, inside this array I will be passing winning combination. First of all, if 0, 1 and 2 index are same, like this and this, if you have x all three, you will win. Like player x will win for sure. 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 and 7, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, any one of this combination appear, that will win. 3, 4 and 5, and then 6, 7 and 8, and then I will say, for example, 0, 4 and 0, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 3 and 6, 0 for column verification 3 and 6. Similarly, we will have second column, that will be 1, 4 and 7. Similarly, third column, it will be 2, 5 and 8. Similarly, I will be having diagonal will be 0, 4, 8 and 2, 4, 6. This will be your winning combination. So we had defined our winning combinations. What we have to do here is we have to do winning combinations dot for each, and I will say combination. Okay, every time I will be getting this combination inside it. Now what I have to do here is, in this one set result, I need board. Okay, I need board, and I need what? I need player X as well. I want to know that which player is winning. Okay, now what we have to do here is I'll say board. Okay, sorry, if my board inside board combination of A is not empty, and okay, board, let's copy this one, board of combination of A double equals to combination of B. Okay, if A is matching to B, and similarly A is matching to C, then what you have to return, you have to return what? I'll say just return set results. Okay, not return, just say set results. If it's matching, then you have to set the results to what? Player. Okay, which player is going to win? We have to identify from player X turn, player X. If it's true, I'll say X, otherwise it's O and wins. Okay, so what you are doing here is board is containing 0, 1, 2, 3. This is your board. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This combination of A, it's an A for each loop. First iteration you will get 0, 1 and 2. So 0, if there is anything inside 0, like either X or O, then that X or O is either matching to your B, like 1th index, or it's matching to C, then the player wins. Similarly, you will go on with all of them. So we have to call this set results. Okay, so this is how you can create your custom hook very normally, very easily. We don't need React here. We just need, for example, instead of React, we will be needing use state hook. Okay, let's change our use state hook from here to use result hook. Okay, and keep it empty. So what we have to do here is we have to check the results here, set results. What we have to pass? We have to pass board, and we have to pass player X turn. Okay, A is not defined, line number 19, 20, 21 and 22. Very sorry, it's not A, it's 0. Very sorry, it will be 0 and it will be 0, and then this one will be 1th index, this one will be 2nd index. Every time we will have 0, 1 and 2 index, 0, 1 and 2, 0, 1 and 2. Let's hit save. Let's see. X 0 X 0 X 0 X. See, player X wins. So once player X wins, I don't want players to click anymore. For that one, what I have to do here is when we are clicking, I have to check if this is not empty and what you had clicked is not empty and my result is also not empty. Okay, this one results is also not empty. If results is there also, then return as well. See, click this. See, player X wins. Now wherever you will click, it should not work with or, not and. Okay, let's see, or let me do one thing. Let's check this one and I will say if results appeared already, then also return, no need to check anymore. Okay, so like this, Control Shift R, I will say like, see, player X win. Now I cannot click anymore. This is how you can create very basic, very simple TikTok toy game. Let me go ahead and summarize it for you one more time. Let me just do one more functionality here to reset it. What I have to do here is once the results appear, after that, for example, I will say instead of this, I will say if results are there already, what I have to do here is I have to say if results are there, then and if results are there, then go inside and then I will say if window.confirm. Okay, we have to confirm what do you want to reset the board. Okay, if player said yes, then we have to do what? We have to fill our values with what? With initial values directly. Okay, straight away. Otherwise else inside that one, what we have to do, if user don't want, just return it. Okay, return directly. Okay, and very sorry, your status true. Very sorry. Set player X turn to true. I have to initialize it like this, and it should be set board as well. I'm just declaring it. Very sorry, guys. So let's see, 0x 0x and see X wins. Now when you click, it will saying, do you want to reset the board? You had resetted it. It's resetted already. Okay, and you had clicked on X. If you don't want it, and after resetting, just return also, so it will not move forward. So 0 like this and like this, your X return. When you click, it's saying, do you want to reset the board? And your board is reset already. So this is how you can create a very simple and basic TikTok toy game. How we had created, let's summarize it from the beginning. We had created a React project in which we had integrated Tailwind. First of all, in our application, we had created a container, and here in our source folders, we have created 3 multiple folders. One of them is components, another one is hook, and the last one is shared. In shared, we had created 2 more folder, button and headings. In both of them, we had identified our buttons with some Tailwind classes and headings with some Tailwind headings, along with click events and all that stuff. A generic stuff is there for creating buttons and classes, so you can use them again and again in your project without having to write Tailwind classes again and again. Later on, what we have done here is we had created a container. Inside container, we had created a player X turn. If it's true, player X turn. If it's false, player Y turn. Okay. Similarly, what you have done here is you had checked if a board value is when you click on the button and the button index is passed in that handle click. If in the array that value in the board array that value is not empty, then return it. No, because that is already being taken by either X player or Y player. If the results appear, just ask them to reset it or return. If the result doesn't appear, you have to set the board. You have to identify the index that is clicked, map either X or O according to the player turn on it. In use effect hook, as soon as the board is changed, you have to verify the results from your custom hook, and if the results appear, and you have to change the player turn as well. If the results appear, what you have to do here is you have to show results, otherwise you have to show player turns. Board is the one that is taking your array of 9 element in null and then change dynamically and handle click event inside it. In the board you had created 9 different buttons in 3 different rows. In each one you are passing your handle click with the index what you want, what you are going to click. You can make it dynamic as well, and we can talk about it later in some upcoming videos. Later on you had created a use result hook. At the top of that use results hook you had, this is a custom hook, you had created a winning combinations. Inside this one you had taken a straight hook of results, and that is being returned, and there is a set result function. This is actually a thing that you guys need to understand. This is actually a logic where you are identifying if the player wins or no. Like for example, if player X is there, and for example player X clicked, okay, so player X, if player X in 0, 1 and 2, there is X is available in index number 0, number 1 and number 2, that's mean X1. If the X is available on index 3, 4 and 5 of the board array, then mean also X is 1. Any of these matches to each other, then it's 1. So now what you have to do here is from the board you have to check if 0th index is not null. You are checking like this, if 0th index is not null, or for example let's talk about this, if second index is not null from the board, because it will iterate from each combination. So if second index is not null, that's mean for sure either X is there or Y or 0 is there or O is there. Okay, so if that is matching to the first index of confirmation first index is saying 4, so 2 is matching to 4 and 2 is matching to what, 6. So on 2 index if there is X and that matches to 4, that means 4 have X as well, and it matches to 6, that means 6 have X as well. That's mean player X is 1. This is just a brief of your results or winning combination. I hope you guys understand it. Still, in case of any question, in case of any query, you can comment us on the same video. You can reach us in our mailbox as well. Don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. See you in the next video. Until then, take care. Goodbye.